Hey, and welcome to Jodi Day. Welcome, everybody. This is Jodi Day. I don't have Nick. Nick is a little MIA at the moment. Although he's been responding to my messages, we'll see if he finds his way to the stream. As you may or may not know, Nick had his 1 year anniversary yesterday of being on YouTube. And he partied hard. He partied hard. Also, if you are privy to the ferry stream, ferry meaning Nick Baker and I on a ferry between Denmark and Sweden for about 90 minutes, you know that Nick sometimes has like a 1 week hangover after these drinking streams. So we'll see how long his hangover lasts this time. But I did send an invite out to Flux. She said she was going to join me for a bit. So maybe we'll have her joining us. But it gives us some time, see who shows up to Wingman. It gives us some time to get the bingo cards going. Good morning, everybody. I just see Shelly here, and I love that we can see the chats now from X. It makes it a lot more interactive and very cool. We got Lil Pill, Lil Pill. I can't say that right. It's too many L's. There's just too many L's in your name. I'm sorry. Murderer. Good afternoon, genitals. Welcome, welcome. And Jung has been working hard, by the way, for bingo. Today is bingo. If you guys weren't around for Tuesday, or if you've never watched one of my closing arguments streams where we have the closing arguments, we like to do bingo. And so Jung has a link. Maybe she can pop in the chat again. I also have listed it in both mine and Nick's descriptions below is a link to the bingo cards. Just add your name, preferably your YouTube name, so we can keep track of everybody. And then a card will be assigned to you. Keep it open. And as the words get played, hit the X. I am going to try to keep track of the words we have for this one. And if you win, if you get a bingo, which is a line up and down or across or diagonals, then you win a prize. Now, I have been working on the prizes because we gave 3 prizes out on Tuesday. And we have, so I've got to order them yet. I've got them lined up and ready to go. But we're going to do 3 winners per round. So 3 winners today as well. You will get a prize. And the prize is actually going to be a wine tumbler with this on it. So it's Jodi in the straight jacket with the 3-hole wonder. So that I have an image of it, but it doesn't really work well. I wanted to show you this. So this is what it's going to look like. And let me see if I can present my screen. Stop sharing that. Present another screen. And do I not have it up? Did I close it down? Wait, there we go. Okay. So, oh my God. Why is this giving me such a hard time? Let me cancel this and try it again. There we go. All right. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. This isn't the exact one because I'm actually ordering it from a local supplier. I just put it on this, which is my old spring thing to just give you an idea of what it's going to be like, something like that. But this isn't the actual product because I don't like spring and I don't like their quality. But they were able to allow me to do a preview for you all. So that's essentially what you're going to be getting if you're a winner. Where is the link? So if you go to the description on both Nick or my channel, there is a link. It says bingo cards here. Also, Jung has Gigi just posted it in Nick's chat. Maybe Jung can post it. Jung just posted it again in my chat. So there's like a variety of ways to get the link. So we've got a few minutes. We'll let everyone get settled. I'm not peddling anything. My store is not open. You guys don't have access to my store. It was not good stuff. These are free gifts, Brandon. Free gifts for the winners. The other, so the words that were selected, or the words that came up and that we ticked off on the game on Tuesday, have been removed from this list, and we've added new words to this list. So I can't remember exactly what they were. There was one like scripture. I remember scripture because that was a hotly contested word. And then there were other words. Oh, if I can pull it up. Where's my list? There it is. So like marriage, cheat, whore, Spider-Man underwear, love. I believe anal sex is still the free spot in the middle. We had Wairika, prepaid legal. Actually, prepaid legal is still on the list. Okay. Well, some of them have been removed and others have been added. So, but anyways. And then also, if you won last time, feel free to play along, but we're not going to award you a prize if you win. We're basically going to say, congratulations, you won again, but your win doesn't count this time. So that would be BL Blazy, Jess Rubery, I think, and Little Peanut all won the first round. So you're not going to be able to win another prize. We're going to keep it open to more people. Hey, and we have a Flux Raid somewhere. Did Flux Raid Nick's or mine? I don't know because I have the other link up. It's hard to tell. But welcome, all you Fluxians. Welcome. And get your bingo cards if you guys are just joining us. We are playing bingo for jury questions today. So jury question bingo, play along and win a prize. The prize is going to be a Jodi Arias 3-hole wonder wine tumbler. And if the word is said by within the jury question or in Jodi's answers, that's when it counts. It doesn't count for the attorneys making arguments or anything else. But if the word is contained within the jury question to Jodi or Jodi's answers, and Jodi's answers are quite detailed. If you haven't seen her answer questions before, all of the words are in Jodi's answers. I don't know how Nick is feeling. He said he messaged me back. I asked him if I needed a sub for him today, and he didn't really answer. He said he's not dead, so that's good. But that's really the only response I got from him. Barely alive. He's not dead. I asked him if he was dead, and he said barely alive. So Nick's a little rough. I sent Lux a link to join us. But yeah, and yes, anal sex is still the freebie space in the middle. So hopefully you guys know the rest of the rules of bingo. 5 spots, up and down, across, diagonally. When you get a bingo, call out bingo in the chat, and we will stop and we will verify. Jung will be able to double check everything and make sure that we've got a proper bingo, as well as myself, who will be following along. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But it'd be a good time. It's a lot of fun. We did it on Tuesday. We are going to finish up, by the way, day 28 today. So we have 2.5 hours of jury questions, including the stops. This is probably going to be a long stream. But I'm here for it, because what else would I want to do on a Saturday except bring you guys Jodi? Dave is a giver, right? Just like my hat says. Wait, did I do that the right way? Giver. Gotta feel old, but then I see the words and I'm fine. All right. So let's get going. Everyone have their cards? Actually, should we wait a little bit? I saw it. We watched Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and I said I'm absolutely getting that hat, and I found one on Amazon. Oh, also, I've been moving stuff around in my background, and I'm going to continue to move stuff around in my background. That's like little Easter eggs for you all. And I don't know why, just for fun, because I don't want it to get boring back there. So I'm just going to keep moving stuff around. So I've added a few things over the last few days. All right. We're going to get going. You guys can jump in at any time. Oh, wait a minute here. From the dead.
Hey,
Wait,
how y'all doing?
I see the lights are low.
Yeah, I haven't.
Do I need to turn my volume down for you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I just have a slight sensitivity to bright light.
You made it.
I made it.
I was just going over the bingo rules and killing time a little bit to see if you or anyone else showed up to join me
Okay.
before we started streaming.
Yeah.
You could maybe you could just turn your camera. Oh, there we are. Now I see you. I was gonna say you could turn your camera off. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go over the rules again. So in the link that is been posted around chat or in the description on both Nick's stream, I added it in the description on Nick's stream if you're over on Nick's side, or if you're over on my side, it's the first line in the description. Click on that link and it'll take you to a bingo card. And let me here, you know what? I'll do it this way. Let me present. This way everyone's on the same page. All right. So if you click that link, it'll take you here. And you could type in, whoop, that's not what I want, because all of my things pop up. But you type in your name and you set join the game. All right. And then you'll get a bingo card. Oh, hang on a second. Let me pull this down because I don't want all my things popping up.
That's a glorious bingo card. Oh.
Okay. So once you type in your name, it'll give you a code and you hit play now. And then you will get, I'm card number 3036. So remember your card number, because when you get a bingo, you have to give us your name. You have to say bingo, give us your name and your card number, and then we'll verify it. And so, of course, the middle is always the free space, which is Jodi's bonus hole for us. and you can go. And so when you hear in the jury question or in Jodi's answer, so if the jury question is, well, in the Book of Mormon, it says blah, 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 there you go. Or if Jodi's answer is, well, according to the Book of Mormon, the bonus hole is okay, then you can, you might get 2 and 1 in that answer. So that's how you play. And once you get a bingo, which is all the way down or all the way across or diagonal, let us know. Throw it in the chat. And I love his 3-hole wonder at the top. And we'll identify your card number and your name. We'll stop everything real quick and we'll go. And if you're a winner, you get a prize. And your prize is a wine tumbler with this on it, which is Jodi in her straitjacket with 3-hole wonder. And I put it in Comic Sans because I feel like if Jodi was to have picked a font, it would be Comic Sans, right? So that's what we get as a prize. And I've got a local print shop putting them together for me. And they'll be out shortly. Probably, he said within the first 2 weeks of January. So I've ordered, we're going to do today. We did last week, so that's 6. And then I think we're probably going to have 2 more days of jury questions. So I'm ordering like a dozen of them. And yeah, I don't know if it's the best font ever, but it's definitely the best font for Jodi. And yeah, so that's what we got going on. Hopefully, good card, Dave. Yeah, so hopefully it. I'm not playing, by the way, because I'm going to pull it down because I'm going to be keeping track of the words. And so if there's a question, I am the ultimate decider on whether or not a word counts. Like last time we had scripture, but they talked a lot about the Book of Mormon.
I'm alive. I'm alive.
And so I decided that Book of Mormon meant scripture.
Never have I ever bingo cards. That's a new game instead of yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I know. See, and then Jung chimes in and she's like, "No, that's not what the word means." And then, but I'm the ultimate decider. So, Yes, no, but we do have we made clarification. So there's words like Cancun. Cancun needs to be said, not Mexico. Things like that. But anyways.
What Book of Mormon must be said, not scripture. We had this discussion on Tuesday. In the scripture, when Jodi refers to it, that's the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, but we actually put the Book of Mormon in the list now instead of scripture, because scripture was a little too vague. So we actually put the Book of Mormon in the list. So you will see the Book of Mormon as an actual word now on the bingo card, as opposed to scripture.
Can somebody post the link to the bingo card in the chats again?
Yes.
Flux.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and click on the description, Flux? But because I've said it many times, but I'll put it in the I'll put it in the chat again. Pinned or not pinned at the very top of the description on my channel, and I think it's like the second line down on Nick's channel. The description below, look below your video. That's where the link is permanently posted, and it's also, I just put it in the chat again. So, hold 2 bingo cards here. What? I don't know.
I think Young is doing voice to text.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel like for the people who are listening and for myself, I've been repeating this a lot. But there are people like Flux that just don't listen. So it's like teaching. It's like teaching middle school. You know, you got to repeat the same thing over and over because there's always those handful of kids sitting in the back, screwing off, not paying attention. Salvador, you don't play. That's what happens. You don't play. All right. So I think we are right where we left off. This is where, if you remember, the final word for the bingo that won last time was the word love, because she talked about loving her mother. And I think that's where we left off. So that's where we are. It's an hour 19 in. I believe that's about right. But regardless, even if this is a portion of the testimony that we heard on Tuesday, we're still going to count it for today. So,
okay.
All right. We'll get going here.
So in that regard, because it's straight, it's also very painful, but I love her a lot.
What is your relationship with your father like today?
It's not incredibly close, but I have unconditional love for my dad, and I find that I'm able to love him better when we interact a little bit less as opposed to more often, because I don't know if it's because our personalities don't jive, or I don't know. I think he's kind of a negative person, but maybe it's because I'm negative. I don't know. I'm not trying to blame him, but we get along, and times we don't get along, and the times we don't get along, it hurts me. So I don't like to go there very often.
Nope.
Would it be possible to have Jodi run through the attack on 6408 using the...
Sorry.
Phrasing.
We're both trying to pull up the same damn chat every time. Yes, the middle space, the Jodi Arias' bonus hole is free to everyone, as it should be for Jodi.
Yeah, because it's her free space. Yeah.
Volume is loud and muffled. Can you guys hear the chord okay? Let me put up closed captioning, although we will not rely on the closed captioning for bingo. It's just to assist us. It might be wrong because often it's wrong. And I was talking.
So I don't like to go there very often.
Would it be possible to have Jodi run through the attack on 6408 using the floor plan exhibit 249? Valerie, would you take exhibit 249 and put it on the projector, please? Arias, will you run through the attack on June 4, 2008 using the floor plan?
Oh, this is a good question.
That's really good.
Can you move it up to show the shower and the bathroom?
She wants to see the tip.
I don't know if it focuses out.
And here's the pin diagram.
That's actually where you just had it was, well, yeah, maybe right about there. It might have to be moved again because the bathroom is long.
Yeah, up the shaft is long.
You need to turn down your volume a little.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
good. It'll probably have to be
Jung.
moved.
No,
back,
not
though.
you, Jung.
Eventually, it
Okay.
starts there.
Let me know.
Okay.
Not turning it down.
It started where Travis was in the shower. I was right outside the shower a few feet. I
Shower.
was taking photos of him, facing him in the shower. Back and forth, we would check the photos. Some got deleted because they didn't turn out great, or he was making a wrong expression or something. And then others we kept. And so I would do this and do that. And then we crouched and did the same thing. We tried a few different positions. And then at one point we were deleting, and I went to move again and shift.
I have shower.
Shower, closet, and I'm just wondering if we heard the word camera or if she just said pictures. I didn't hear camera. I just want to make sure. So I have shower and closet so far.
And face him,
Okay.
and the camera, it
Oh,
slipped.
there's camera.
It was kind of like, the best I could describe it, like when you go to catch a football, but it bounces and you kind of fumble it a little, because it didn't slip and just drop. It slipped, and I tried to catch it, and it kind of bounced a little and then fell on the ground and bounced and rolled onto the tile. It fell first on the mat, then it rolled right onto the tile. The mat isn't very big. It's just kind of right outside the shower, and then the tile is right outside. So at that point, he got very angry, and he stepped out of the shower. He lifted me up from the crouch position with enough force that my feet came off the ground momentarily, and he body slammed me on the tile. At that point, I rolled and I ran down the hallway, which is where 7 goes on there. I'm sorry. Can you, yeah, right there.
Tell me when it's done.
Yes. I ran down
Nunya, I see your question. I started. I'm going to come back to it later. But it's a good question.
the hallway. I ran into the closet. I slammed the door. I start running. If you are looking at the diagram, it would be on the left side of the seat. I began running that way with my initial intent to probably run out this door. I instead went for the gun. I grabbed the gun. Right about then, Travis was opening the door. I grabbed it. I ran out into the bathroom. He ran, I believe, straight toward the door as well. And can you show the bathroom area again?
Jung, the
A little bit
only
more.
complaint I'm going to have is when you gave me this list, it's not in alphabetical order.
Yeah. At that point, I had run out of the bathroom, and I turned, and I just wanted him to stop. So I pointed the gun at him, hoping that that would just make him halt. And it didn't. Instead, he lunged at me right around the time that the gun went off. And I didn't mean for it to go off. We fell with a pretty good force down in the corner, near 15, but not quite up.
Okay, so just a technical analysis here. Just going off of the Hannah Payne case and what I was talking to with Bronca on your channel yesterday. She didn't mean to pull the trigger, which means that she didn't believe that she was justified in shooting him. So even her self-defense claim dies right here.
Yeah, and if he launched at her, I can't see how the bullet struck him where it went in the head.
Yes.
Because if she is somewhat used, she's just getting the gun, pointing it, and get launched at. What happens then is everything goes back. So at best, he would be shot in the face. He was shot from the right behind the temple into the frontal lobe.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, though, she has to claim. So her self-defense failed because she said, I dropped the camera, he started attacking me, and I went blank, and I don't remember. So if you don't remember, you can't constructively say that you were in fear for your life and safety and had to take lethal force to protect yourself. And then 2, now she just said, I didn't mean to shoot. Well, first of all, that means that she lied when she said she doesn't remember. But also, then you didn't feel like your life was in danger to the point that you needed to exercise deadly force. For the words that I have thus far are gun, shower, camera, and closet. For those of you playing bingo along with us. I don't think she said afraid yet. I've been listening for that one because this is kind of that part of the story.
That close, it was kind of near the sink, kind of sort of that area. And he felt kind of on top of me, but to my right. I didn't want him to get on top of me. He was grabbing at my clothes. He was trying to get on top of me. I don't know where the gun went at that point. It was not in my hands anymore. If it got knocked out of my hands or if I dropped it, but I broke away from him. And as soon as the moment I broke away, that's when he threatened my life. I'd have no clear memories after that at all. Things began to get really foggy after the gun went off. And I know he was screaming and cursing. I don't remember exact words except the ones he said to me right after I dropped the camera, which was about a 5-year-old being able to hold a camera better than me and that I was an idiot. And he was using profanities with those statements.
I really want to get
Regarding
pop
the
rocks.
9mm gun you purchased on July 1st, 2008, you mentioned a camping trip as one of the reasons for the purchase. Who was going on the camping trip?
There was 2 dishwashers from Purple Plum, which is where I had worked in the past, and I was still friends with them. One guy's name was Calvin. I don't remember his last name. He was somebody that I'm trying to remember if Calvin was one of the dishwashers or one of the customers or a former employee, but he was at the restaurant all the time. And then another guy, I don't remember his name. He's very tall. He worked as a dishwasher in the back and a prep cook, and he was going as well, and a few other people were all going. So that's all I can say with that.
Why were you planning on going if you were scared?
I wasn't scared. I was just being cautious. These are people that I knew, but I wasn't very well acquainted with, and I just didn't want to. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it suddenly and not have it. Being out in the wilderness, I wasn't scared. I was just I was trying to be cautious. I had seen like a new side of what a man can do. So I wanted to be extra careful as far as being out there alone with a group of men. I think maybe some women were coming too, but I didn't know at that point. I was the only girl on the trip.
Well, it would make sense that she would
Were
say
you
afraid,
paid
right?
for the interview with 48 hours?
No, I never asked for compensation. They never offered. There was no compensation at all.
Were you paid for the interview with Inside Edition?
Oh,
The same,
interview.
no. I was not paid. Someone encouraged me to ask because she had given an interview to Inside Edition and they paid her $50. She had a charge in New York and they did that. And, but I did not ask and they didn't offer.
In an interview with Detective Flores, Exhibit 503, you talked to him about taking photos of Travis
Detective
while he was
Flores.
shaving. At some point, you state he must have liked it because he used it on his MySpace page. Can you explain what he used?
Yes, he used the photograph that was displayed yesterday. He used that photo as his profile picture. And what that means is if you type in the URL to his MySpace page, the profile comes up and you can, if it's public, you can see different things about the people or the person whose page it is. If it's private, you don't see those details, but you.
Yes, she said interview. So we have gun, shower, camera, believe, closet, and interview.
And Detective Flores.
Oh, yes, I forgot about Detective Flores. Thank you. Any other words that I'm missing between you, Nick, or Jung?
Don't think so.
Yeah, she overtalks. That's why this bingo is so much fun, because they can ask a simple question and she just goes on and on and on. I'm putting these in alphabetical order next time. Oh my God.
Still see the person's profile picture, and that was his. So that was kind of his photo that represented his MySpace page. There were other photos within photo albums on the account, but the one that comes up on the front page or the main page of his thing was that photo of him shaving. So I assumed he liked it because that's what he was displaying to the world at that point.
You stated that you tried to call Matt and Daryl about your change in plans regarding going to Mesa, but said they did not answer. Why didn't you just leave them messages or text them?
When I called Matt and Daryl, it wasn't really about the change in plans. It was more about, I was trying to see if I left my phone charger there. because I couldn't find it anywhere and my battery juice was getting very low. So I definitely wouldn't have told Daryl I'm going to go see Travis, because I think that would have been a snub to him. And I was still sensitive to his feelings in that area, nor would I have told Daryl I'm going to go see this guy, Ryan. So I wouldn't have told him either of those. I definitely wouldn't have told Matt that I was going to go see Travis, because Matt had very, very negative opinions about Travis, and he would have been very against it.
You testified that you reported your cell phone lost in May of 2008. When and where was it found?
Yes, I actually reported it to the Wairika Police Department as stolen, possibly lost. I thought it was stolen because I searched high and low, and I left it in my grandfather's vehicle when I ran in to pay for Chinese takeout, and it's in Wairika. I mean, locking the car door isn't a big deal. I didn't think I left it in there, but that was what I concluded when I made the report, because it wasn't in my purse. I called it, it didn't ring. I looked everywhere. Was the rest of the question, when was it found?
Yes.
Okay. It was found, to my understanding, in 2010.
Okay. So we got Mesa counted, and
I wonder if she said believe somewhere in there.
she did. She said believe like 10 minutes ago or so. But Mesa, we have Mesa, and also no, only the questions from the jury as the judge reads them, and only her answers. Nothing else counts. Yes. Yeah, the judge reading the questions, the questions themselves are what counts, but not like if the judge is arguing with the jury or with the attorneys back and forth about hearsay or something. You're eating a sandwich. That's good for you, Bobby. Yep. Only the jury questions as read by the judge or Jodi's answers count. The attorneys do get into some bantering going forward. Anyways, so for the words I have thus far: gun, Detective Flores, shower, camera, believe, closet, Mesa, and interview. Yes, and when you have a bingo, throw bingo in the chat and give us your name. Well, we'll see your name, but give us your card number.
My aunt found it, actually. She's sitting right over there on the front row.
Go
she
ask
cleaned out my
her.
grandfather's
She's
car
sitting in the
and found it
audience.
somewhere in there and turned it over to my grandmother or my parents. I don't know.
Sustained.
See, those kind of
Have you
things. don't
taken
count.
long trips by yourself, such as the one from California to Arizona to Utah in June of 2008 in the
Utah.
past?
I'm sorry, will you repeat that?
Have you taken long trips by yourself in the past, such as the one from California to Arizona to Utah, the one you took in June of 2008?
Only along highways that I was familiar with, such as from Monterey County to Wairika.
Okay, real quick. Wairika is off the list because we used it last time, but I have Utah. Jung, I'm not seeing Arizona and California. I thought I asked you to put those in too, but maybe, and I'm missing them. I just want to make sure they're not in there. If they are, I'm going to write them down.
Or after I became familiar with the drive from Arizona to Southern California. And the Monterey to Wairika drive, I'd probably driven it not driven it, but ridden it with my family over the years, countless times. I could name all the cities, all the landmarks, all those things along the way. I knew where everything was on those roads, and I had experiences in various cities along those roads. So those roads I was familiar with. I've never driven on the I-15, at least for any great distance, and not outside of California.
And if you are getting here late, you could still grab a bingo card and join along. Who knows where these questions go? You might end up getting a bingo anyway, so jump right in. And Nicholas, you got 5 gifted memberships.
Yes, thank you, Bass. It was given to C-Ty, Mads, Shelby, Brad, and Caitlin. Yay! Welcome to the member. Welcome as a member. You now have access to all my members-only content, and in the community section on my channel, you will find the link to my Discord. Thank you so much, Bass.
Jung, it's not so much of is she going to say it? They still have to have it on their card, so you could have added it.
Yeah.
How often did you take such trips?
Jody's words and the jury's question. So if trip, for example, was on the list, which I don't think it is, the judge just asked a jury question that says how long something on your trip, whatever, that would have counted. So the questions that the judge reads to Jodi and Jody's answers count. Is Nick
I
winning?
like to do road trips. Travis and I began to do road trips.
Sustained. How often did you take such trips?
I wouldn't know an exact number.
During the trips you took, did you take extra gas cans with you?
Only after I moved to the desert. Daryl was like, we're from the coast, so we had total shocks to our systems when we experienced our first summer here.
We got gas.
And we began to carry cases of water in our trunk. And if we were going long distances, we'd carry a gas can just in case, because he thought he would be like, you could die out here. You know, if something happens, if your car runs out of gas, you can't turn the air conditioning on, you could literally die of heat stroke, and that was a fear. So we carried water, and we didn't carry gas around with us all the time if we were just hanging around town, but if we went out to 29 Palms or somewhere like that, then that would happen.
If you took gas cans with you, where did you get them?
I got the two gas cans that I took on that trip, I got from Daryl. And then I bought the third one, and then I determined I didn't need it, and I returned it.
I think the question is referring to in the past, if you took gas cans with you, where did you get them?
Oh, they were Daryl's.
Wait, did she just say literally? Anyone can confirm that? Should I back it up a touch? Are you trying to say that she said literally? Let me know. Totally not a Russian bot. I didn't hear it, but I'm trying to like multitask. Let me back it up just a touch.
Where did you get them?
I got the two gas cans that I took on that trip, I got from Daryl. And then I bought the third one, and then I determined I didn't need it, and I returned it.
I think the question is referring to in the past, if you took gas cans with you, where did you get them?
Oh, they were Daryl's.
It must have been a bit earlier than that in that case.
To carry cases of water in our trunk, and if we were going long distances, we'd carry a gas can just in case, because he thought he would be like, you could die out here. You know, if something happens, if your car runs out of gas, you can't turn the air conditioning on, you could literally die of heat stroke, and that was a fear. So we carried water, and we didn't carry gas around with us all the time if we were just hanging around town, and I returned it.
I think the question is referring to in the past, if you took gas cans with you, where did you get them?
Oh, they were Daryl's.
During your testimony, you mentioned Travis had hit your car once. Can you tell us about that incident?
Yes, that was the incident in May 2007. We had spent 2 days at Disneyland and then we were driving from Anaheim to Los Angeles, where the Getty Center is, because the Getty Center is on the list. That was our purpose for going. And on the way there, there was a ton of traffic. I don't remember if it was 5 lanes or 6 lanes, but it was bumper to bumper. Not any of the lanes were moving at all, hardly. We would just inch along, inch along, inch along. And he grew very frustrated, very impatient, and angry. And he began.
Yes, thank you very much for the 199 super chat, Indigo. I didn't know she talks so much. LOL. She talks so much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, everything. She can't just keep it down to 3 to 5 words, because these are 3 to 5 word answers she should give, and she gives stories.
Yeah. The 5 freeway is the worst. Okay, good to know. It's 6 lanes. You know, more lanes usually equals worse traffic, by the way, people. Just like the goal, the goal of anyone designing a freeway or a road system should not be to add more lanes. It should be to add more roads, give people different options to get them off of the roads that are congested. You don't want to widen it, because that just puts more people on those roads. Counterintuitive, I know, but people who engineer these roads need to know this, and oftentimes they don't.
Yeah, and I only need knife for bingo, but I'm not competing. I'm just having a bingo card for the funs of it.
If we could just get to the climax, like most women say.
Angeles, where the Getty Center is, because the Getty Center is on the list. That was our purpose for going. And on the way there, there was a ton of traffic. I don't remember if it was 5 lanes or 6 lanes, but it was bumper to bumper. Not any of the lanes were moving at all, hardly. We would just inch along, inch along, inch along. And he grew very frustrated, very impatient, and angry. And he began just, I don't want to say what he said, but he just began yelling at other drivers, and they weren't aware of him at all doing that, but he was just screaming at the other drivers. He was beating on the steering wheel. He would beat the inside of the door, the driver's side door, just with his fist, or just the horns were on the sides. So he wasn't honking the horn, but he would beat the center of the steering wheel.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, the words that have already been on the list, there's no like word list. I've been just keeping track of them, and Jung's been verifying, as well as Nick. So we have gun, Detective Flores, shower, gas station, literally, camera, Utah, believe, closet, Mesa, and interview. Those are the words on my list that I have checked off. I was just stop it every once in a while and repeat those.
Well, you have gas
Why
cans.
did you confront Travis after?
Oh, did I not say? Yeah, I said gas cans. Yeah, we have gas cans.
And,
So again, gun, Detective Flores, shower, gas cans, literally, camera, Utah, believe, closet, Mesa, and interview.
Yeah, gas can. I think you said gas station.
Did I say gas station? Well, I meant gas can.
Yeah. And thank you, Baz, for your $4 super sticker. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. It's a cup of coffee.
Well, you all knew what I meant. I didn't mean gas station. Gas can. Thank you for correcting me.
After seeing him with another woman through his backyard window, if it was not due to jealousy?
Ooh,
I
jealousy.
felt that because he was making an effort, this was also right after he had, we had just slept together consensually, and we went all the way, and he said, I love you, and all these things. So I felt like we were getting back together. And when I saw that, it seemed in contrast to what he had been telling me for the last month and a half. So my intention was to do was to go there and just find out what's the deal.
She wasn't jealous. Why did she confront you?
I'm explaining why I went over there.
You may continue.
So my intention of going over there was not out of jealousy, but it was because I wanted to know where I stood. Are we still trying this? Do you have a new girlfriend? If he had a girlfriend, that was fine. I just wanted to know. Was all.
Yes, we got
If you
jealous.
simply wanted to know where you stood because he was courting you back, why were you so upset that you needed to call your father about the incident the next day?
I didn't want to call my father. I wanted to call my sister, my little sister, because her and I talk, we're relatively close, and we talk about stuff like that. It's a girl thing. So I called my parents' home because she lived there at the time. And she wasn't home, but my dad answered, and he could tell that maybe I was sad. So that's why I began to talk to him. The reason I was sad was because Travis and I were getting back together.
Yeah, slept together is not sex. Sex is sex.
Sustained. Sustained.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
Yeah,
Nick?
no, I have 2 4 in a row, so I need knife and funeral.
Knife and funeral. Okay.
Yeah, but again, I'm not competing. It's just me playing bingo.
Yeah, and she starts. I did watch ahead just to get some words that I know would be used today. And I as a preview, she continuously rambles to the point where her attorney, the judge, and the prosecutor all cut her off at various points with objections. It's like, stop talking. Yes, she said sister. I got sister. Yep. So sister was the most recent one added. And jealous. Jealous was also added.
Yeah.
You mentioned an earlier failed attempt using rope during a sexual encounter.
Ooh, do we
Can
have
you
rope?
tell us what happened that day,
Rope.
when this occurred, and how Travis handled the failure?
I didn't hear that. Judge, can I ask a quick question?
Certainly.
I thought that last question said, why were you so upset that you had to call your father? So I began to explain why I was upset.
All right. Your attorney will have an opportunity to follow up with you later.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned an earlier failed attempt using rope during a sexual encounter. Can you tell us what happened that day when this occurred and how Travis handled the failure?
Yes. He handled it just fine. He didn't get upset. We just stopped. He used twine and it was very scratchy and it sort of was not cutting into my wrist, but it was abrasive and it was somewhat painful. So at that point, he just cut the twine off with a knife as well.
Oh, knife, bingo.
Did Travis's dog usually bark when someone came into?
Oh, did we get knife too?
Yeah.
You got a
said
bingo?
she cut the twine with a knife.
Oh yeah, all right, very good.
Yeah.
So you got a bingo, but you don't count. You don't.
I don't
wait,
count.
we got a winner 00023. All right, hang on. So Bumshell, card number 023. Jung, if you could check that. So again, the words that I have are gun, Detective Flores, jealous, shower, gas can, rope, literally, knife, camera, Utah, believe, closet, sister, Mesa, and interview. And again, there's 3 winners today. So we're going to do 3 winners. So if you didn't win just now, we're gonna get 2 more winners today. And sex does not equal sexual encounter, because there's also oral sex on the list, and sexual could just be a nice dance that I do for my wife, right? So sex is sex, oral sex is oral sex, anal sex is the free spot that everybody gets in the middle. So no, those don't mean that.
Bombshell is a winner.
All right. Yep. Cool.
Send your information to Dave's email, and let's make it happen.
Yeah. Send me your contact information so I can get you your Jodi Arias wine tumbler with the glorious 3-hole wonder logo and Jodi in a straitjacket on it. Those are getting printed up next week, and they will all go out shortly.
How is Nick the first winner both days? Because I'm a winner.
Yeah, how is it that you won both days? Yes, anal sex is a freebie. That's a free space. Everyone has access to Jodi's bonus hole. So that is a free space. And my email is in my description, but I will put it in the chat. It is Michigan Law Now at Gmail. And go ahead and I put it in StreamYard, so it should go to both channels. But go ahead and send me an email with your contact information, and I will get you everything. Cool. Let's keep going. We got 2 more winners today.
The house.
Yeah.
Yes, if the dog heard the door open, he was very animated and he would bark very loud.
Did the dog usually bark with loud, unexplained noises?
Typically only if the doorbell rang or somebody knocked at the front door.
Yes, Jung.
Why would you continue to stay with someone who had sex with you while you were sleeping?
Oh, there's sex.
At that point, that would have been May 2007. I was in love with Travis. I knew I was in love with him, and it didn't make a difference to me, honestly. I was in love with him. My only concern was that I believed from a religious and spiritual perspective that our relationship would not be blessed if we acted that way. So, as in vaginal sex, that was my belief at the time.
Vaginal sex.
When did you find out that Travis had a gun?
I found out in the fall 2007 when I was cleaning his shelves. I had different projects, and it was around the fall. I don't remember if it was in October or November, but it was around that time.
To your knowledge, did police ever find your gun?
You know, that's a good question. I didn't really state that. We don't start over. We continue with the cards we have. The only time we start over is at the beginning of a new stream. So like I said, we're probably going to have 2 more streams of this. So just keep going with the bingo card you have with all the boxes checked that you have. Jody's got a gun.
Grandfather's gun that was stolen?
To my knowledge, no, none of the property that was stolen from that house was recovered ever.
Why did you place Travis's body back in the shower?
I could only speculate because I don't remember. And I could
Don't.
speculate based on who I know that I am or thought I was. Should I?
They both jump
Just
up.
say, just so don't answer the question. Do you know
Let's
what-
listen to that again. That was great.
I could only speculate because I don't remember. And I could speculate based on who I know that I am or thought I was. Should I?
They both jump
Sustained, so don't answer the question.
up. That was
Do
great.
you know what time you left Travis's house on June 4, 2008?
I don't remember the exact time, but as far as
Both councils jumped up and objected to speculation. They did not. Neither one of them wanted her going into that. So that was interesting.
the daytime,
Sustained. What happened to the clothes you were wearing on June 4, 2008?
I don't remember. I was in clothes when I came to, and I don't.
Sustained. You say Travis had attacked you before June 4, 2008, but would apologize to you after he did it. So why was the June 4, 2008 incident so different?
June 4th was escalated, and he always apologized afterward prior occasions. On prior occasions, I'd never feared for my life. And even when he was choking me out and I was losing consciousness, I didn't have enough time to fear for my life. I passed out. It wasn't until after that incident, when I reflected back on it, that I realized I could have died. And if he could take it that far, and he was as angry as he was, and I perceived very clearly that he was trying to get back on top of me again, that freaked me out. I was scared out of my mind.
You and Travis continued to talk on the phone after you moved back to Wairika, including phone sex. Would it be fair to say you were upset he was taking another woman to Cancun?
We got Cancun.
No, I was not upset. I wasn't upset at all, actually. Cancun was long, it was announced a year before. He was taking a babysitter, I thought. I didn't learn that he was taking Mimi Hall until well afterward.
Sustained. Why did you send his grandmother flowers?
In retrospect, it probably wasn't a good idea, but I felt that it would be more insensitive to not do it, anything at all.
Oh, wait,
Why
we got a
did you
bingo.
take the rope and gun?
Okay.
All right, Flux says
Flux!
she's got a bingo at 053. Can we check? While we're checking, I will go through the words that we have. So if everyone that's playing bingo wants to pay attention to the words that I have, and after we check Fluxes, we're still going to continue with the same bingo card because we're looking for another winner. So we have gun, Detective Flores, jealous, shower, gas can, rope, literally, sex, knife, camera, Utah, believe, closet, sister, Mesa, Cancun, and interview. So those are the words we have thus far. You missed Mimi Hall. She didn't say Mimi Hall, did she? I was listening for
No.
that, but they mentioned her. They said taking another woman to Cancun, but I don't think they said the name.
No, they didn't say the name.
Yeah, that's what I was listening
Congratulations, Flux.
for. All right. Flux is a winner. Flux, I have your contact information, so I will just send it out. You don't need to send me another email. I'm keeping track of the winners here. Yay, Flux. Yes, she said Mimi Hall. Jody did. When? Oh, God. This is why I need it in alphabetical order. Okay. How far back do I need to go to verify this?
She said Mimi Hall before the objection. Before
Okay.
the both, or what?
Let me go back. I went back like 30 seconds.
I was not upset. I wasn't upset at all, actually. Cancun was long, it was announced a year before. He was taking a babysitter, I thought. I didn't learn that he was taking Mimi Hall until.
Okay. Yep. All right. So I think that's when Flux had jumped in with the bingo and I was distracted. Okay. So we do have Mimi Hall. Thank you guys. Thank you, chat.
Mm.
This is like a 30,000 person operation here. Yeah, I am terrible with names. I gloss over them. I don't even pay attention to names, so I got to like really focus. So does that add? What did I win? Okay, so Jung, jeez. Okay, hang on. So you win. This is not the exact design because I'm having them made up. But essentially, you're winning a decanter, or not a decanter, a wine tumbler with this logo on it. It's better. It looks better in person because it's different, but it's essentially Jodi Arias in a straight jacket with the 3-hole wonder moniker on it. So that's what the winners get. Oh, now I got to present my screen again. I don't like the way StreamYard does this, but there we go. Yes, stainless steel wine tumbler with the Jodi Arias 3-hole wonder. That's what all the winners are getting. So I've ordered 12 of them from a local printer. Flux, you could take it to work. Yes, please, Flux, take it to work.
Sustained.
I use mine for coffee, but I like
Why
it.
did you send his grandmother flowers?
In retrospect, it probably wasn't a good idea, but I felt that it would be more insensitive to not do it, anything at all.
Hey, welcome. Welcome to the membership. Thank you very much. And you are new. Check out, I believe you are. Check out my member tab, which will take you to a link to my Discord where we have all of our member content, including a bunch of images and documents from this case, as well as a bunch of other cases that we cover. And it's just a cool place to hang out and talk with all of your friends from chat when I'm not streaming.
Why did you take the rope and gun with you?
There were a lot of actions I took that day that I don't remember.
Why is this so? There we go.
But as far as disposing of it, I knew that something bad had happened, and I knew that I felt like I had done something wrong.
Did you lock Travis's bedroom door when you left on June 4, 2008?
I don't remember anything of that nature.
I don't remember needs to be
That
on the
whole
next
time
bingo
gap.
card.
I don't know.
Did you try and clean up the scene after you left on June 4, 2008?
Based on the evidence, I believe I did. Maybe make some kind of attempt, but I don't recall doing that.
If you climbed on the shelf to grab the gun in a hurry, how is it that nothing was disorganized in Travis's closet?
Oh,
I
good
only had to
question.
sit on the edge with my foot. I put up 1 foot. I only had to it's the shelf, so I just had to grip the edge and grab it. So it's not quite as tall as it appeared in the photo. You just put 1 foot up on the edge, grab the other, you're up like 2 or 3 feet extra already. I grabbed the gun with my right hand, I believe. I don't know, right or left, probably right. And then I ran out the door.
I don't know if this is the original.
If you shot Travis first, how did the casing land on blood?
I don't believe it landed on blood when the gunshot went off.
That's a good jury question.
Overruled. You may continue.
I do know that we struggled, so something could have happened subsequent to that, but to my knowledge, there was no blood in that bathroom before the gunshot went off.
After you shot,
I think we need to put blood in there too. Am I really in a treehouse? Yes, I am really. Here's my treehouse. I'm really in a treehouse. 25 feet above the ground, and above also some chickens, so that you might hear every once in a while.
Travis, why not run out of the house to get away?
Initially, that was my attempt. That's why I started running down the hall. The bedroom doors were closed.
I'm gonna check speculation. I thought she said after she shot, she didn't remember.
No, I said it got foggy after the shot.
Overruled. You may continue. You may
Maybe I
continue.
misunderstood the question. I thought that it was after I got body slammed. Is that?
After you shot Travis, why not run out of the house to get away?
Okay, I'm sorry. That is correct. After I shot him, I didn't know that I shot him, but after the gun went off, while he was lunging at me, we fell over and he was trying to get on top of me. It's hard to describe the fear. It was like mortal terror. It really was. When he was trying to get on top of me, I thought he was, and then he threatened my life. I really thought he had intentions to kill me. So I don't remember any specifics of what happened right after that point.
Why didn't you?
I am gonna refresh this because I think I need to.
After you shot Travis.
Okay. I just the graininess of the image is really bad, and I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me. And if I could clear it up at all. The Comic Sans file. Yeah, right. Because I believe that if Jodi Arias was to write something, it would be in Comic Sans. I mean, I have a handwritten note from her, and I feel like it's almost in Comic Sans. So I went with the Comic Sans font for the wine tumblers.
Travis, why not run out of the house to get away?
Initially, that was
After you shot Travis, why not run out of the house to get away?
It was like mortal terror. It really was. When he was trying to get on top of me, I thought he was, and then he threatened my life. I really thought he had intentions to kill me. So I don't remember any specifics of what happened right after that point.
Okay.
Why didn't you call 911?
I was very scared of what would happen to me. I was scared at that point of what was going to happen. I mean, I knew that, well, I felt that I had done something wrong, and
She said feared. She said scared. She hasn't said afraid yet.
I don't have really an adequate explanation for my state of mind following that. I just know that I knew something really bad had happened, and
Hey, wife
I
of
was
Kron.
scared.
If Travis attacked you on June 4th, why not just tell the police the truth from the start?
That
Ooh,
one's
tell the
kind of
truth.
a complicated answer.
You got to tell the truth.
I didn't want people to know the kinds of things that were going on in our relationship. I felt that if I told
just
police
unalived
Travis attacked
somebody.
me, I would have to give explanation as to why he attacked
Al
me.
has bingo.
And if I gave explanation as to why,
All right.
I would have to go
Hang on.
back through the
Okay,
different incidents
and,
that we've gone through.
Sorry, I was
let's
pouring
see.
coffee.
And
Okay, so let's go
let's-
back and check the words.
Hmm?
Oh, wait, we got two.
yeah, we have two.
Wait, who said bingo first? Salvador did?
Yeah.
Well, let's check card number 25 first. Salvador, I'll send you a mug or a tumbler just because I have a feeling I'm gonna have some extras. But all right. So the words I have, and guys in chat, correct me if I miss something. I sometimes do, but we'll go back. I have gun, Detective Flores, jealous, shower, gas can, rope, literally, sex, tell the truth, knife, camera, Utah, believe, closet, sister, Mesa, Mimi Hall, Cancun, and interview. And then anal sex is your bonus free space because anal sex with Jodi is always free. So let me know if anyone else has a bingo while we are checking. Retzism? Retzism? Is that how you say that? Retzism?
Retziem.
Retzium. Yeah, anal sex is always free with Jodi. That's your free space in the middle. And yeah, congratulations to everybody. And by the way, if you are just joining us, if you are a winner of bingo, you will get a wine tumbler with this imprinted on it. Jodi Arias in her straitjacket with the 3-hole wonder in Comic Sans, because that is appropriate for Jodi.
Yep. Salvador
Okay.
and Retsium are winners. Will tell the truth. Please note
All
that
right.
Sal did have anal sex.
All right, fair enough. All right, so RETSI, is it EM? All right, Retsium, send me an email as well with your contact information so I can get the Jodi Arias wine tumbler out to you. Sal, I have your information. And we have our 3 winners for today. Now, we're going to continue to stream and play this, of course, and you are welcome to play along. And if you get a bingo, you can get it for, for like, not ego, for, what do I want to say? Just for
Well,
the
we
sake
can,
of saying I won.
let's say we play for another good hour and somebody gets a full card.
Okay. All right. A full card. Yeah, let's do that. We can add a full card, and that is where let me pull this up. So if you get, of course, everyone has anal sex as the free space. But if you get a full card, all of them filled out, well, good. Yeah, we'll do one more winner. So you have to have that. And then you can be a blackout. Yeah, whatever it is. Blackout, full card. Bragging rights. That's what I was trying to say. Bragging rights. Yes. But so if you get a regular bingo, great for bragging rights. But if you fill out your card or a blackout card, then we'll do another. I can put in another order. I haven't actually officially put in the order yet. I just told him how many I needed. I got to get him the full big image to start printing them. So I can throw in a few more orders right now. So yeah, so if you get that, then we'll do another prize. I think that works. Cool. Full card equals bingo going forward.
And how those things didn't really begin until after I walked in on him. I believe they were related.
Closed caption.
Ever want to go there? So it was all convoluted, and I thought that by saying that would open the door to that, to that, to that. And I didn't want to de-edify him. I was embarrassed about a lot of those things, and I was ashamed. And I was also very scared about, whether I was defending myself or not, I felt like it was wrong to kill somebody regardless of the circumstances.
Is it wrong to kill somebody?
Were you kneeling when you
That's
dropped
a
the
general
camera?
rule.
Yes, I was kneeling on one knee, I think.
When Travis stepped out of the shower to attack you, was he wet?
Yes.
If so, did he slip at all on the tile in the bathroom or hallway?
Oh, did we got
I didn't
ashamed?
see him, but the tile is slick when it's wet.
Sorry. Okay. So I was going through and putting up a new ticker with the blackout rules. We got ashamed. Did we get embarrassed? We got embarrassed. Can we just verify? We got ashamed. Everyone's saying, did we get embarrassed? I think that was on there, right? Is horny on the list? Horny needs to be on the list if it's not. And then defending myself. I'm going to say defending myself counts as self-defense. Did she say defending herself? You guys mind if I back it up a few seconds just because I was trying to get the thing going? I just want to double check this.
Saying that would open the door to that, to that, to that. And I didn't want to de-edify him. I was embarrassed about a lot of those things, and I was ashamed.
Yep.
And I was also very scared about, whether I was defending myself or not.
Defending herself. Yep.
I felt like it was
self-defense.
wrong to kill somebody regardless of the circumstances.
Were you kneeling when you dropped the camera?
Yes, I was kneeling on one knee, I think.
When Travis stepped out of the shower to attack you, was he wet?
Yes.
If so, did he slip at all on the tile in the bathroom or hallway?
I didn't see him, but the tile is slick when it's wet.
Yes, John. Flux.
When
John.
entering the closet, why didn't you just go up in the door closest to you?
My intention was not to run into the closet. When I rolled away, my intention was to run out of the room. I didn't make the decision to go into the closet until I realized that by going left, I kind of just went back to that brief moment when he caught my wrist last time. I intended to run left. And this time I would have to open the door. It would swing open this way. As I'm running down I would have to go this way. Like I would come down the hallway. The door would open this way. I would have to go out this way. So it just seemed this door over here was open. It split-second decision. It just seemed safer or easier or faster to run in there and slam the door. And then I knew there was an exit. It wasn't a dead end. So there was another door there that I could run out of.
Do you know how tall the ceiling in Travis's closet was?
No.
Was the gun in a case or just laying on the shelf?
I don't remember how it was on June 4th. When I first discovered it, I don't recall seeing a holster of any kind, but Travis did have one for it. I don't remember on June 4th.
Why is it that you have no memory of stabbing Travis?
Do we have stabbing?
I can't really explain why my mind did what it did. Maybe because it's too horrible. I don't know. I really don't know the answer as to why
Lots of
I
analyzing while
blacked
into
out
it.
or have
I
memory
agree.
gaps that much of that day.
I'm gonna put it 1.25.
Whether
If
you
it's
had
too fast,
plans
let me
to
know.
commit suicide or not, why even mention no jury will ever convict me, mark my words, because I am innocent in the interview?
Well, I was very confident no jury would convict me because I was going to be dead. As far as saying I'm innocent, definitely innocent of my charge was what I meant. And also I assumed that I would be in the next life where I believe that, God is the ultimate judge, that he would understand the circumstances of that day and that it would ultimately, that he would know all of the circumstances that happened that day. So in that regard, innocent of the charge, but definitely there wouldn't be a conviction because you don't convict a dead person. I would be in the grave at that point.
In your interviews you gave on TV, were you forced to answer all of the questions they asked you?
I was not physically forced, but when you're put on the spot, it kind of feels like it, like you kind of, for some reason I felt like I had to answer every question, but I wasn't forced, if that makes sense.
You know what? I have a question for Jung because she put the word shank in there. I don't believe I've ever heard that word in this trial. And I'm wondering if that means stab.
No,
Wait, no, never mind. I gave her that word. So it must have been said because I was watching ahead and giving her words. So it must have been said. All right. Well, I don't know where it was said. Yeah, but okay.
You have pictures of your other finger injuries that include timestamps. Do you have any pictures of your finger injury with timestamps?
I guess that would be the left finger. I didn't take a specific picture showing the injury, but any
skank.
picture
Okay.
taken.
Yes, SKANK. Did it not pop up that way? Did you enter the wrong word in the list? Because yes, that's right. It's SKANK. That makes more sense.
Yeah, shank and skank are two very different things.
Yeah. No, not like shanking in a prison with a stabby tool. It's supposed to be SKANK. My list shows SKANK. Yeah, okay. All right. We're good. Yeah, it's not SH. All right.
We got finger.
All right, very good. Oh, did we get fingers? Damn it. Okay, I'm so far behind. All right, we got finger. Oh, it's broken finger, though. She's showing the injury, but any pictures taken. So, all right, hang on. back up. Broken finger, injured finger. It's the finger that's all messed up. That's what we're talking about.
If that makes sense.
You have pictures of your other finger injuries that include timestamps. Do you have any pictures of your finger injury with timestamps?
Yeah. Broken finger.
I guess that would be the left finger. I didn't take a specific picture showing the injury, but any picture taken subsequent to June 22nd would show my ring finger bent, whether it was like that one in the photo or anywhere else.
Do you have any pictures of you wearing a finger splint?
No, definitely not.
Did anyone see you wearing a finger splint?
I wore it one day when I was working at Mimi's Cafe, but I don't know if anyone commented on it or not. So it was kind of embarrassing because it was
Saw it, not whether to make comment.
Sustained. When did you realize that you had memory loss? The approximate date?
If that's a reference to June 4th, when I pulled over in the car and I began searching around for the water, the shoes, everything, just trying to clean myself up and then that kind of thing. I can attribute it to being maybe, I had memory loss one time when I was 19 because it was alcohol related, and one time when I was 15 because it's alcohol related. So that's the only other thing I can attribute it to. Just like a blackout. So that was when shortly thereafter, when I couldn't remember certain things. Some things have come back to me since, but just not all of it.
Did you have an attorney prior to the interview with CBS?
Not for my case. I had an attorney for the limited purpose of assisting me in my extradition from California.
Is that a yes or no?
Sustained, yes or no?
These are
Yes,
good
sort of.
jury
Yes.
questions, by the way. You
You
can tell
said you
they're
got
really
the two
paying
gas
attention.
cans so that you could fill up in Nevada or Utah where gas was cheaper than California. Why did you fill the gas cans up in Pasadena?
Yes, that's why I initially got the gas cans from Daryl, was so that I could save money on gas and that kind of thing. I'm a coupon clipper, that kind of person. But when I got to Southern California and realized I'm taking the I-15 across 2.5 states, I've never driven this before. It's the middle of the night. I'm by myself. I'm in a car that I'm not very familiar with. I didn't want to be stuck in the dark somewhere in the desert. I've heard lots of horror stories and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't stranded.
In all of the 3-hour church sessions, family home evenings, missionary discussions, and other church events, you were never told or were never under the impression that other forms of sexual intercourse, oral and anal, were forbidden.
I did get that
Okay.
impression on a few occasions and I discussed it with Travis and he clarified it for me in his way.
I'm going to say that qualifies as the oral sex.
But she talked about home evenings, not exactly that way, but she did say in the question it was something about home.
The home sessions or whatever.
Yeah, if that
Okay.
counts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to count that. So what we have so far, if you guys are playing bingo and you want to count along and make sure you didn't miss any words, we have self-defense, gun, oral sex, Detective Flores, jealousy, shower, gas can, ashamed, home evenings, rope, literally, sex, tell the truth, knife, broken finger, camera, Utah, embarrassing, believe, closet, sister, Mesa, Mimi Hall, Cancun, and interview. I'm just adding Salvador's name. Okay, so that's what we have on the list so far. My whole my thing is pretty circled up. I can't believe there's somebody that doesn't have a whole blackout card yet. But we should be getting pretty close. Yeah, she said the home evenings. Yeah, they did say home evenings. Yeah.
Okay.
So all right, cool. Someone clipped. We can. Okay, so this is the thing. This is a murder trial, and all of these words are being used. I mean,
Oh,
anal
you
sex,
could do
oral
an
sex.
you can do an excellent short
Shower.
video with this.
Yes. If you guys are missing the Jodi Arias trial, I don't know, because these are all the words being used in this trial. Yeah, I'll clip that and put it out there. I missed 10 words.
She got it from these occasions, not when she spoke with the victim.
Sustained. Is the answer yes?
Somewhat, yes, but it wasn't clear.
Did you know that Travis did not like John Dixon prior to your date with John Dixon?
Prior to my first date with him, no, I didn't even know, I don't think he even knew John Dixon. Maybe I'd seen him through prepaid legal, but prior to that date, no. And I'm talking about before Travis and I became boyfriend, girlfriend.
Wait, did she just say prepaid legal? I drifted off. I was reading the chat. Okay. Oh, no.
No.
Somebody asked about attorney equal prepaid legal. No. So prepaid legal, PPL, is prepaid legal. That's the company that Jodi and Travis worked for. So
My first date with him, no, I didn't even know, I don't think he even knew John Dixon. Maybe I'd seen him through prepaid legal, but
prepaid legal. There we go.
prior to that date, no. And I'm talking about before Travis
got
and I
prepaid
became
legal.
boyfriend, girlfriend. As far as the date that occurred after we broke up, I knew that he didn't care for John Dixon.
Why were you willing to get involved with two men at the same time?
Well, I was trying to get, it was very difficult to break away from Travis. I knew we were going in separate directions, but we kept continuing with the same habits that we had. And I had said before that I'm monogamous, and by that I do mean sexually monogamous for sure. I've never had more than one partner at the same time in that regard.
Yeah.
So as far as Ryan,
This
he
means
was
that
just a
she didn't
potential-
have two in the hole at the same time. What does that mean for Jodi? Because she literally went from Travis, did the deed, unalived him, and then went to another man.
person that I wanted to get to know. And if things had gone further, then I definitely would have cut off that sort of contact with Travis.
When you were asked about the video you made having sex with Travis on June 4, 2008, you said you used your camera. But when you were asked about your camera later, you said you didn't take it out of the car that day. Which of these two is true?
For clarification, both is true. Both are true. The Canon stayed in the vehicle. My Olympus was tiny and it was always in my purse. So it went in. And the Olympus is Stylus 500 model, I think. And it had video and on it. The Canon did not.
Waifu, it's called London bridging, by the way. Not Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower is when you give the other guy a high five at the same time.
Oh, yeah. So the guy is engaged in the Eiffel Tower, but the woman engages in London bridging. She said, wait, what? The little man was so smooth. Oh, God. Okay. All right. How does Nick know?
I've been around on this.
When you realized that you did not connect like you expected,
All just for research purposes. That's all. Just research purposes.
research purposes.
How do we know what the Provo push is? Research.
Research.
why did you continue to speak to Travis?
I think that's a reference to Ehrenberg because we weren't connecting the way we had before. Travis and I connected very well over the phone. It seemed like it was more of an emotional and mental sort of connection, a meeting of minds, so to speak. And I was not going to contact him again after 3 failed attempts over the weekend, and then I didn't hear from him. So when he called me Tuesday and left me a very sweet voicemail, it kind of was a feeling of relief, like, oh, okay, I wasn't just being used. He still cares. So I called back and he was somewhat remorseful that we had gone that long without talking, and we agreed to not do that again. I mean, as far as going that long without communication.
What is your understanding of the word skank?
There we
That's
go.
not an official definition, but it's a very negative and pejorative, derogatory.
Okay, so that's why I put it in there. I did listen ahead and I was like, oh my God, we got to put skank in there. All right, so skank is on the list now too. It's been added. If you have skank on your bingo card, please hit the X.
Turn.
Oh, did we get voicemail too? Did she just say voicemail? Hang on.
According to people in the chat, yes.
So I called back and he was somewhat remorseful that we had gone that long without talking, and we agreed to not do that again. I mean, as far as going that long without communication.
What is your understanding of the word skank?
I don't know an official definition, but it's a very negative and pejorative, derogative term against women.
It was.
Why did you
before
share
Skype.
housing with Matt
fine.
at the
I'll
time you
take
were in a relationship with Travis?
Well, the reason I moved to Big Sur, well, Matt was the available housing in Big Sur. And Matt, by this point, had reached,
Available housing.
was it why?
Overruled. You may continue.
Okay. The reason I felt comfortable living with Matt was because at that point in time, this was, I want to say 7 years after we'd broken up, our friendship had evolved to a point where we were like more like a brother-sister kind of relationship. There was no attraction, zero. We didn't even hug. It was just, we were just friends, and we were more like siblings. And I think Travis understood that. I don't know.
Sustained. Were there any girls working with you that you could share a room with?
At Ventana, no, there were not.
How can you be a sister to Matt, someone you had sex with in the past?
It does sound strange, but it just has to do with the way our friendship evolved after the breakup.
You can tell the jury is just all kinds of not believing her.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, how can you be? It's just, yeah, they do not buy her, but she thinks that she's still got to talk her way out of this.
Yeah.
I got over what he did with Bianca, and that resentment melted away and gave way to sort of just a genuine goodwill toward him and him toward me. Also, our time at Ventana was broken up because when at one point, I think I'd mentioned on direct that the restaurant at Ventana closed. And so the entire dining operation was moved over to the inn, and we operated out of there. During that 5-week period that the restaurant was being remodeled, Matt moved to Vail, Colorado. I didn't see him for 6 or 7 or 8 months. He had another relationship at that time. And by the time he moved back, Daryl and I had started a relationship. And at first it was a little bit awkward, but then Matt and I realized we just jive in a certain way, but it's more like we're better off friends rather than boyfriend, girlfriend. And that was a place where we reached an acceptance, and there was no longer an attraction to Matt. I think it was more, I was blinded by love, and now I saw all his other qualities. I still liked him as a person, but I was not attracted to him, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Why didn't you read the Book of Mormon to see what you were and were not allowed to do?
Book of Mormon specifically mentioned there. What were we gonna say, Nick?
Oh, Carlos is a single line bingo. We are doing full.
We're doing a full blackout at this point now.
Yeah.
So we've gotten 4 regular bingos. So now we switched over to, you got to fill in the entire card. Remember, anal sex is always free with Jodi. So go ahead and mark that one.
Yeah. And while we are here, remember, go to both our channels, give us the likes and everything to promote us through the YouTube algorithm so more people find us.
Yes. And what was I going to say? Okay. So we have the words. I'm going to go through the words. So if you guys got your bingo cards up, I'm going to go through the words that we have checked off thus far. Book of Mormon, self-defense, gun. You know, I'm going to do this as a commercial. Wait, hang on a second. If you are not watching the Jodi trial with Nick and myself, you need to be, because these are the words that are being used in this trial. The Book of Mormon, self-defense, gun, oral sex, anal sex, Detective Flores, voicemail, jealous, shower, gas can, ashamed, home evenings, rope, literally, sex, tell the truth, knife, broken finger, camera, Utah, skank, embarrassing, believe, closet, sister, prepaid legal, Mesa, Mimi Hall, Cancun, and interview. So those are the words thus far.
And thank you, Bass, for $2 super chat. Was Jodi Travis relationship a holy covenant? I don't see anything holy, but not maybe holy, as in lots of hole. Yeah,
Oh,
not
I'm
holy.
sorry. I forgot you were doing that.
Yeah, it was a holy covenant, maybe.
And then yeah, so as Dan says here, whoever gets the blackout cards, it gets the title of Jody's 3-hole champion. And if you win, we've already given out 4 prizes today. But if you get the blackout, you get a wine tumbler with this on it, an image of Jodi in her straitjacket with the 3-hole wonder moniker, written in Comic Sans, because that's the way Jodi likes it.
I did read the Book of Mormon. There is additional doctrine that explains the commandments a lot more, called the Doctrine and Covenants. And the Book of Mormon does cover a lot of the basics. It's very similar to the Bible in some of those things, like the Beatitudes are sort of reworded in one portion of it. I think the 10 Commandments are sort of reworded in some portion of it, but it's more the Doctrine and Covenants that go into detail, and also subsequent presidencies that the church has gone through have clarified even more what certain commandments mean, what that really entails, such as the word of wisdom. When the Doctrine and Covenants was written in the 1800s, it doesn't say anything about coffee, tea, alcohol.
Oh, we got covenant.
Or
Yes,
illegal drugs.
thank you,
It
folks.
mentions hot drinks and tobacco, and more clarification was given in the 20th century. And so it's kind of like that. Like, I did read the Book of Mormon, but it's not ultra specific.
Why did you ask Travis about everything you did?
About everything I did? I don't understand that question.
All right, then we'll move on to the next one. Why did you start a relationship with Ryan Burns when you said earlier, when I am with one guy, I don't see other guys?
Well, I didn't consider myself Travis's girlfriend because I broke up with him on June 29th of the previous year. Also, I moved over 1,000 miles to get away from him. And so even though it was hard to break up, so to speak, we were broken up, but we still continued some of the same patterns we had. I was still attempting to move on, maybe not making the best attempt, but when somebody introduced us through text message, we began to call and just sort of hit it off. We were just talking friends, and it was only a potential thing. So I didn't consider myself seeing Ryan or seeing Travis, but Travis was still the person that I was most intimate with.
Why is it that you cannot remember when Travis lent you money, but you remember the exact amount that you lent him all 3 times?
What a good question.
I do remember times he lent me money. I think I went into a few of those times. And one of the reasons I specifically remember amounts that he lent me is because it's documented in my journal, and I've since reread that journal several times.
Okay, so let me explain what's going on here. So Scott wants to know why. All right, so in Arizona and in Michigan too, the jury gets to ask questions of any witness at all. And so while the witness is on the stand during direct and cross-examination, the jury can write down questions. They submit those written questions to the judge. The attorneys get to look at them. They get to object to anything. But at the end of the day, there will be several questions that the judge will then read from the jury to the witness. And so the judge literally has hundreds of questions for Jodi submitted by the jury. So these are jury questions. This is what the jury wants to know. And it's very informative. I love it in Michigan because you get an idea of where the jury is thinking about things. You can also get a sense if they're paying attention. Like if you have a witness that you think is really important and the jury has no questions for them, you kind of screwed up. So the jury is trolling her now. That's essentially what's happening. The jury is now trolling Jodi Arias while she's on the stand.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, at this time, the jury is more or less how to say you are guilty, bitch, without saying it out loud.
Yeah. So like that last question is, how is it that you can't remember? Yeah. But when he gave you money, but you remember to the penny every amount that you claim that you gave him. It's just like, wow, I wrote it down in my journal. Which, by the way, is journal on the list? I don't see it. I thought maybe it was, but it's not. Okay. All right, let's keep going. We have another half hour or so. We'll keep going. And then again, if you missed out on bingo today, tell your friends or whatever. We're going to do this again on Tuesday and then probably Saturday again. We're going to have probably 4 streams of jury question bingo.
Why did you think that the incident that happened on June 4, 2008 was any different from the ones before, so that you had to kill him to protect yourself?
June 4th was very different in that even though I thought he would never get that way again, because it just
Ooh, excited. You got a bingo? You got to give us your card number.
Do you have a full card?
Well, you have to have a full card. By the way, we're doing a full card now. You have to have every word, the whole thing filled out. Because we've already done the traditional bingo of the lines up and down or diagonal, whatever. So you got to do a full card bingo now. Kidding, I was asleep. Okay. Jeez.
I think he scared himself when I passed out based on our subsequent conversations, and we realized how far it went. I thought that it was
wasn't
done at that
excited
point as far
otherwise.
as violence goes. So when it happened again, and I realized how far it can escalate when he gets that angry, I was terrified this time, especially because he was trying to get on top of me. And also, he just kept coming. He didn't stop. Even when I tried to stop him by running away or pointing a weapon at him, he kept coming, and he just did not stop.
You mentioned injuries that would not have been seen by others when you were in Utah in June of 2008. Can you go into detail?
Okay. And just for future reference, you have a bingo card ID. So if you make a note of it, if you take like a screenshot when you first pull up your bingo card, for the future, you should be able to log and rejoin the game. So for future reference, I don't know what your bingo card number was, Shenanigram, but if you remember it, you should be able to log back in under that current card. So that's this. I think so. I haven't tried it myself. Keep coming equals climax. No,
not in this context.
It was 050. Okay, so maybe you can log back in, and maybe Jung can help you out, because she's running it from the background. So your card number was 50.
As to where they were and how you received them.
Yes, my ankles were bleeding, not profusely, but they were scratched and they were injured. I had socks and shoes on. Also, when I hit the tile, the back of my head right here slammed on the tile. And I do have, my shoulder's never been the same, but I don't know if it's related to being slammed on the tile or not. It's off, is all I can say. It hurts constantly, actually.
When you injured yourself at Casa Ramos, rotating the glasses, did your supervisor have you fill out any forms to document the injury for workers' compensation purposes?
No, this was a small business operation. They didn't have formalities like forms and that kind of thing, just what was minimally required as far as being a legal documented worker. It was a less formal, it wasn't a corporate kind of setting where those kind of formalities were done.
Who was the main factor in your decision to move from Big Sur / Palm Desert to Mesa, Travis or Rachel?
It was Travis, ultimately.
You testified that you thought you heard his footsteps. If you weren't sure, why didn't you just run downstairs and out the door?
It was all a split-second decision, but like I had said, when I got toward the carpet area, that's where he caught my wrist before when I began running down that hallway on a previous occasion. And so here I am running away from him down the hallway again. And on the previous occasion, my intention was to run out of the room, and I didn't make it out of the room. So rather than try to this time open the door and run out of the room, this closet door was open and I knew there was another exit. So I just ran into that as quickly as I could.
Why would you take the time to delete the photos off the camera after you killed Travis?
Good question.
That would go with all the other things that I did that day. When things happened, I don't have memory of it, specific memory of it at all. But
okay.
I mean, I
just tried to cut and paste all the words, and I think that might have been like a mess. Oh God. Yeah, that turned into a disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do that. All right, I will read through the words once again because someone just asked for it. I forget who, and I was just trying to post it. Okay. Book of Mormon, self-defense, covenant, gun, oral sex, Detective Flores, voicemail, jealous, shower, gas can, ashamed, home evenings, rope, literally, sex, tell the truth, knife, broken / finger, camera, Utah, skank, embarrassing, believe, closet, sister, prepaid legal, Mesa, Mimi Hall, Cancun, and interview. So that is rope sex. Yes, we have rope sex. Rope literally sex. So those are the words that we have. And yep. All right, we'll keep going.
Objection.
Sustained. You stated you remember dropping the knife and hearing it hit the tile. What happened to the knife after that?
I don't recall what specifically happened right after that. I just know that it didn't go with me in the car.
Sustained. If your phone had died while at Travis's, why not use a wall charger so you would have it charged before you got on the road?
That was a thought of mine, but Travis did not have a wall charger that had a plug that fit my type of phone. So I was not able to charge it there either.
In your email to Travis after June 4, 2008, you told him you would sleep in his bed while he was in Cancun. Did you ever stay overnight at his house without him there?
Yes, when I was pet sitting Napoleon, I did that.
Napoleon. Is Napoleon
How
on
is
the
it that
list?
you were so calm on the television interviews?
I tried very hard to present the best image I could, and I had had a lot of prior experience of pretending that everything was okay when it wasn't on the,
I
everything on the
believe
surface
her.
was okay.
Believe
when
Jodi
really it wasn't.
Arias.
I was accustomed to that, and also I wanted to portray that I'm confident and that I'm okay, I didn't do this, no worries. That's what I really wanted to get across at that time, and then I wanted to kill myself so that I would never have to own up to it.
You stated in the 48 Hours interview that Travis's family deserved to know the truth. If you really believed that, why didn't you confess then?
That was not entirely.
Wait a minute. Did I just hear funeral or no?
No,
No,
I didn't
okay.
hear it. No.
All right.
True, in that I didn't want them to know certain truths. And again, I said that because it's a derivative of my attempt to deny that I had anything to do with it.
If Travis wanted the phone sex conversations recorded, why didn't he record them?
His phone did not have that capability, neither did mine until I bought the Helio, or until Gus got me the Helio. I discovered that feature and we joked back and forth about it, and then I began to record them when we decided we would do that. His phone didn't have recording capability.
If you didn't want to be tied up to a tree, why would you go up and look for a place where he could do that?
Tied up to
It
a tree.
wasn't being tied to the tree that I was looking for. We were looking for a place out in the woods, nature, to somehow carry out this Little Red Riding Hood fantasy. And my understanding of that is that it would involve
I don't
sex,
remember that part of the
but
Little Red Riding
he
Hood
had many
story.
other ideas, as you heard on the tape. It didn't necessarily mean that I was going to go for all those. I was kind of pushing my own limits anyway by going out to the woods to find a spot. And that was the purpose, was for that fantasy, but not specifically getting tied to a tree.
If you drop the camera on the bath mat, how is it that it rolled all the way in front of the bathtub?
On the diagram, it looks very far, but it's really a distance of this. You have the shower, there's a very thin wall, and then the bathtub begins right here. So wherever I was standing here, it didn't have to roll. It just bounced right off the mat, and it's not way down by
There's a lot of words that I thought you were going to add that you took away.
the bathroom area, but it's right near the bathtub at that point. There's only a distance
gotta
about this
trust
much
me,
between the
Joan.
shower and the bathtub.
On the phone sex tape, when Travis was talking about photos and taking video, was that all part of his fantasy?
Taking photos and video, yes, that was a fantasy that he hoped to realize.
Did you ever voice any concern to Travis about being uncomfortable with some of his sexual fantasies?
Yes, there was one fantasy that he wanted to do, which was pulling off on the side of a freeway exit and having sex on the hood of a car. And I told him that would be impossible. I could even think of an exit in rural Northern California where that could be accomplished and nobody would see us. So
I feel like there's a version of the Little Red Riding Hood on Cornhub that might fit the bill for this. But outside of that,
and I was a little uncomfortable with the mile high thing that he wanted to do because the flight attendants tend to monitor who's going and coming from the bathroom, and they don't allow two people in the bathroom at once. So just those two that I recall.
Why didn't you call Ryan and tell him?
Did she just say afraid? Shenanagram says, did she just say afraid in the bathroom or something? Let's see.
Yes, there was one fantasy that he wanted to do, which was pulling off on the side of a freeway exit and having sex on the hood of a car. And I told him that would be impossible. I could even think of an exit in rural Northern California where that could be accomplished and nobody would see us. So that, and I was a little uncomfortable with the mile high thing that he wanted to do because the flight attendants tend to monitor who's going and coming from the bathroom, and they don't allow two people in the bathroom at once. So just those two that I recall.
Why didn't you call Ryan and tell him you were going to Arizona when you decided you were going to Arizona?
I guess I didn't want Ryan to know that I still had the interest that I had in Travis. It would be kind of just the way I didn't want Travis to know that, but for different reasons, that I was interested in Ryan. I kind of felt like, how would it sound if I called up this guy that I'm going to go meet and say, hey, I'm going to go hang out with my
How
ex-boyfriend for a little while.
monogamous of
Sorry.
you.
You know, I didn't feel comfortable or like that was something that I would have.
Ryan is the Utah boy. Yeah, this is the guy that she went to right after unaliving Travis.
Yeah, for cuddles and stuff.
For
Acting
cuddles
normal as if nothing happened.
Yep. That's this woman. She went and did the deed, used her free hole with Travis, unalived him, and then went to Ryan for some dry humping. Yep, that's exactly what she did.
Have done is say, let him know I'm going to go hang out with my ex and then I'll swing by and meet you or something. It was a bad decision, but I made a lot of bad decisions when it came to Travis.
You made, yeah, just a
You
few.
have testified to many different occasions where you performed sexual favors with Travis to keep him pleased and happy. Are you saying you never got pleasure out of sex with Travis?
Definitely not. I did. Many occasions he was very romantic, very loving, and I guess you could say attentive, and he cared about my pleasure as well. Not always, but there were times when we were very compatible in that regard.
Why would you continue to carry your journals around with you if it was possible others, including Travis, might find them and read them?
To my knowledge, no one else read my journals. And then once I discovered that Travis did, I was a little more guarded about it, but I kept my journal inside my purse, and my purse zipped up, and nobody really went through my purse, so I considered it safe in my purse because nobody got into my purse except me, typically.
Why were the laws of attraction so important to follow, but the law of chastity was not?
I believed that I was following the law of chastity.
Wait, did we get the law of chastity? Wasn't that in here? Or was that last time? Oh, I think that was last time.
Yeah, that was last time.
That was last time. Okay. All right. I was like, ooh, I heard that.
For a long time. I realize now that I was not. The law of attraction was also a huge philosophy of mine. It was my second religion, pretty much. Also, the law with the law of chastity and what it prohibits. There is
a raffle. The anal sex is free with Jodi Arias. That is a free space, so you don't need her to say it.
is a great deal of temptation when I would hang out with Travis, and even though we eventually did begin to, under how I understood it, openly violate the law of chastity, it was kind of like, I don't know, I guess it's hard to describe. I mean, I think it was temptation, it was weakness, it was not that I didn't
You wanted to
believe in the law of chastity, but when it came to Travis, that was more important.
Do the laws of attraction?
I knew there was a reason why we used it. She said it so much, but we took it off of this one because I think it was tagged on the last one.
Yeah.
On Tuesday. So it's just slip it in. Hey, Moni.
Attraction also apply to recording phone sex conversations.
The law of attraction? I guess it could be construed that way in that when we were doing those things, I got positive. I had positive interaction with Travis. He wasn't angry. He was complimentary. He would say,
"Go on, say pop
things
rocks
that were in a complimentary way." He
I want her to use pop
be nice
rocks
to me.
and
And so it was the
masturbation
attention
in the
that I
same
craved.
answer.
And the law of attraction does state that you focus more on the qualities of the person that you like and don't focus on the qualities that you don't like. And so when we were doing those things, we were both focused on each other in maybe not a spiritually positive way, but in a way that made me feel good and him as well.
You stated there were times.
Okay, so soaking. So apparently the teenagers in certain Mormon sects have this idea that if you, to get around the covenant of chastity, if you insert and don't move, that is called soaking. And if you get a third person to essentially gyrate you, that's called the provo push. And whatever
shake the
happens,
bed,
happens. Yeah,
jump the
shakes the
bed.
bed, jumps on the bed, and whatever happens, happens. But you're not actually engaging in violation of the law of chastity because you're just soaking. So that is soaking with the provo push bonus, which left me wondering, who would be the third party intervener that you would invite over, and how awkward would your relationship be after that? But yeah, that was discussed on like early on in the trial.
Yeah. And I've asked Daniel and Jeff about it, and they claim it's not a real thing. I think they are too ashamed to admit it.
Yeah.
And
they have to invite a third person. That's the whole thing that gets me. It's that you gotta involve a third. It's like, how do you make that selection?
Yeah, I have there are a lot of Mormons in the United States, and in the 80s and 90s, it was very popular to have a vibrating bed in motel rooms. 1+1. And yep.
So I think Vielhammer said it earlier, something about teamwork. Or no, maybe it wasn't Vielhammer, it was somebody else talking about like teamwork makes for rewards or something. Invite a third or a fourth to take turns. Yeah, do you swap out? Do you do hot swaps? On the downstroke or on the upstroke? I just don't get how this works.
That Travis made you tear out pages of negative things that you said about him. Right before that, you said you wouldn't write negative things about Travis in your journal, which is correct.
They're both correct. The entry that he made me tear out was very detailed and a lot more. I was quoting him directly on a couple of things he had said. And when he discovered those, he made me, and my feelings. So I used to write things to purge. When he admonished me and reminded me of the secret, at that point I wrote less specific things. Sometimes I would just write about my emotions, and sometimes those were negative, but writing about suicidal thoughts, for example, helped me process it, and getting it down on paper helped it get it out of me, I felt like. So when it came to Travis, I would be less specific. Like I would write, today Travis was obscenely mean to me, but I wouldn't go into detail about what that meant. I just remember that was a really bad day. So I would write something to that effect.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a 10-minute recess at this time. Please remember the admonition, be back in the designated area at 3:50. I'm sorry, right, 3:50.
Oh, we still have a half hour left of this day. And we're at our 2-hour mark. So I think what we'll do is we'll call it a day for today, unless you want to keep going, Nick. But you look a little dark still.
I kind of want to go back to bed.
Yeah, no worries. I figured as much.
But I still have my serial killer Saturday. I need to do. It's a Rumble exclusive, and then do an episode on the Texas V Dykes. So I have a full day ahead of me, or full evening.
All right. So congratulations to Bombshell, Flux, Retsum. I'm never going to be able to pronounce your name. And Salvador. You guys all won today. Salvador's just getting a bonus. Bonus tumbler, kind of like Jodi's bonus hole. But you will all be receiving a wine tumbler with the Jodi Arias in the straitjacket and the 3-hole wonder moniker. As soon as I get those printed and sent out, if you want to receive your prize, you need to email me your contact information. Flux, I already have yours, so we're good. And Salvador, I have yours. But for the others, I need your contact information. You can email me right here. It's michiganlawnow@gmail.com. If you forget it, it is linked in my about on my YouTube channel, or contact me on Twitter or Discord or wherever. You can get a hold of me. I'm all over the place. Farrell loves your look today, Nick.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
You know what? Much like Jodi did to Travis, we're going to leave you with, well, no, not Travis. Ryan, much like Jodi left Ryan, we're going to leave you unsatisfied with a lot of questions for the future. But yeah, this is awesome. I love doing this.
Are we redirecting somewhere?
Oh, crap. Yes, Salvador.
Okay.
Salvador is supposed to be going, I think. Yeah, because he's got his Peens explosion or whatever he's doing.
Mm.
Does he not have it up? Yeah, no, yeah. So he's got his Peens explosion event coming up. So I'll redirect you guys over to there.
Yeah. Same here. And because next I'm I'm preparing for the Serial Killer Saturday over at Rumble. And
Nice.
let me post my Rumble channel.
Okay,
in the
I've got
chat.
74 likes. Nick, how many do you have?
I have not 74.
69. Well, let's just leave it at 69.
Yeah.
69 is a better number, but I win. And also, I think I
But-
won on the super chats as well.
I'm not
Two-time
sure you
winner.
did.
But Nick won bingo.
No, I got Bass Super Sticker 4+2. You only got $2. And I get 5 gifted memberships.
Nice. All right, you win on that. And you won bingo. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nunya had a question. I forgot. Random question. How much freedom do lawyers get when selecting juries? As in, what does the judge allow and not allow to ask potential jurors? So it varies on the judge, but essentially what you want to be able to do is select someone that's impartial, that hasn't seen any information about the case ahead of time. If it's sort of a case that's been publicized, you also want to make sure that they don't know anybody. You get a lot of freedom with regard to that. You know, do you know the defendant, the lead detective, anybody, any other witnesses and things like that. But I've gone so far as to be able to voir dire jury members about the medications that they've taken. When I had a drugged driving case where the guy kind of mixed up his prescription medications, and I was like, you know, I was able to dive into that a lot. So you're allowed a lot of freedom, and you should take advantage of it. And unfortunately, a lot of attorneys don't. Now, of course, every state is different. I'm only speaking from my experience in Michigan, but you generally have a fair amount of freedom. I got like super personal with some of these people's medications and stuff, and to the point where the judge is like, well, maybe we're starting to cross a line. I was like, I just have a few more, and he let me ask him. So, but yeah, so I have, you get quite a bit of freedom. 75, not 74. Now I have 78 likes. They keep going up, and I have to refresh the screen because YouTube's being a dick. So Nick has 74, and I have 78.
Come on, folks.
Still winning. I'm still winning. All right, and we're going to end the stream here before Nick gets any more likes. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Congratulations to the winner. And remember, on Tuesday at noon Eastern, 6 p.m. Swedish time, we will do more jury question bingo with Jodi. Have a great one.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
State of Arizona versus Jodi Arias, verdict, count 1. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn in the above entitled action upon our oaths, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder.